Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Let's Play of Kaiserreich, Legacy of Kaiserreich. The music is probably incredibly loud, but I can't change that until I get into game. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but it is true. We're playing a difficulty normal. Yeah, aggressiveness, base reaching fast for now. Check countries, that's the ultimate feature. Autosave. Monthly. These counters off everyone gets out of war. And date scenario fully stable for bomb. Deep takeover shit. So, as you can see, here's the German Empire historical info. Now, Kaiserreich, the legacy of Kaiserreich takes place in historically alternate historical timeline of post-World War I, or in German, the Weltkrieg. March 1919. After 3.5 years of traditional warfare, the German offensive on the Western Front finally succeeded in running down its defenses. French moral collapse along their army against the onslaught of the Reich exploded the breakthrough force towards Paris and Valley. As the army collapsed, the exhausted French surrendered allowed the German to occupy the nation. Following this stunning victory, German troops were rapidly sent to the Italian and Turkish fronts and forced entry into the lightly defended parts of northwestern Italy. With the arrival of these veteran troops, the Central Powers defeated the British and Italian armies, restoring ultimate power in the Middle East and occupying the war with Britain and the remaining Entente forces overseas dragged on inconclusively until 1920, when a peace with honor was secured, ending the Weltkrieg. Not everything was well within Germany, though. 7 years of war had pushed their population to the brink of starvation. German industry stagnated from the war's end, and demand was slashed, and the cost of the government mounted as they were forced to subsidize conversion back to domestic production. Struggled to feed its population fought the ever-present danger of inflation that had arisen from printing money for warfare. In 1924, Admiral Tirpitz became Chancellor and responsible for starting the golden age of German politik. Bringing the economy under control to regulate the market, subsidizing food imports from many game corporations and the sale of technology to Germany's allies and client states. Tirpitz's hugely successful regime culminated in the well-executed occupation of British colonial possessions, the outbreak of the British Revolution, and the establishment of free state until Africa. However, since the Grand Admiral's death in 1930, things have been going downhill for Germany. The general slowing of the economy's decreasing initial output of national economies and the nation recovered their manufacturing power, growing national Germany's basic plans to start the constant until the population's government individuals to life alike. In 1936, real Germany stands at a crossroads. The cracks are beginning to appear in my empire, slowly widening, and our ancestry needs are getting stronger. No bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He wanted to make the other poor dastard die for his country. George Bad. George Bad. Alright. This is the world. Oh, I should probably edit the sound. Music volume. Let's turn it down to 24. Alright. Now let me check and see if that actually fucked up the recording. It did. It did fuck up the recording, unfortunately. And seems like it was pretty loud. I don't know. Right now I have it on like 19, but I could easily turn it up if it's too quiet. Alright. Let's do our policy changes. Okay. Let's move into a standing army. Constantly move to a standing army, and I don't really have the money to do that. Okay, now if anyone's paid Kaiserreich, they know exactly what the fuck happens to Germany during this time period. The time period itself isn't historical. Well, historical. It didn't happen, but it is incredibly true to history, and by that I mean it's historically plausible. And by historically plausible, I mean it's historically plausible. Yeah, it's historically plausible. I don't know what more I can say other than that. Well, other than it's historically plausible. God damn it, it's that again. Regardless, it's historically plausible. Okay, I'm moving the Wehrmacht Or at least I think that's the name of the German army. Where I'm at. God, I hope so. If not, then I'm a humongous asshole. Let's move the motorized troops to, let's see, that would be the, yep, hills, this area right here. Okay, let's go back. Guard infantry to the south. Another guard infantry. Well, infantry. No, infantry anyways. Move these guys up. Okay. We're gonna have to fix this. Yeah, we're gonna have to put that there. Let's move these guys over here for the inevitable. Keep those guys there. Move these guys. Keep Ost. Hauptquartier Ost. Hauptquartier Ost. I don't know. I'm an idiot. So, like I said before, this is the world of Kaiserreich. Why is it lag when I select all the troops? 11 frames. Oh well, whatever. I won't be doing that. Okay, this is our Moroccan colony. Freetown colony. Free State Metal Africa. We don't plan to bother them too much. Mostly just ignore them, let them do their own thing. They ask us, of course we're going to try and strengthen them. Maybe give them some of National France's land. Make a Northern Africa partition. If the need arises, of course. We don't want to be warmongering. Let's see, we have our Indian colonies. Madagascar colonies. Australasian Confederation. Okay, so that would be... Okay, so I should probably tell you how different the world is. So, Germany won the First World War, and that caused a communist revolution. Well, technically a workers... I'll just say workers' revolution, because they're technically all communists, but they're all different types of communists. Oh, hold on, excuse me. Like I was saying, excuse me, they're all communists in some way, their own ways. Like syndicalists would be more or less controlled by the unions, I believe that's what it is. I think, I hope so. Radical socialists would be, you know, radical leftists, communists. Social democrats are under their own thing. Okay, so basically, because of the fall of the two greatest powers in the world at the time, of course, especially Britain, the exiled French government of mostly nationalist, royalist, conservative, well, so I think most of the conservative shade, but mostly the nationalists and some of the liberals moved to the colonies in northern France, and they took with them a lot of the capitalists, corporations, and generals too. Let's see, what else? What else should I mention? Kingdom of Spain, they're pretty much the same. They have a communist group, a nationalist group. Well, the nationalists are Carlists. And if you know anything about Spanish history, that would be the reactionary, absolute monarchy under the Bourbon. Well, in this thing, under the Bourbon dynasty. Well, not dynasty. How am I talking about? Rule, I guess. In America, they're in shit. Their trade collapsed with Britain, and so they became an island on their own. And they're having southern. They have a southern faction that is ultra nationalist, ultra corporatist, which kind of doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in a sort of Kaiserreich way. Because it's Kaiserreich, you can't refute anything in Kaiserreich. It's Kaiserreich. Kaiserreich is Kaiserreich. And then they have this, you know, obviously there's always the big working class in the United States, and they also have a huge faction there under the syndicalists, I believe that's how it's pronounced. And what happened in the Entente is they each fled to their respective countries. As you can see, the Australasian Confederation consists of the Australia, New Zealand, and a couple Pacific islands that they were able to seize, and half of Guam. What am I talking about? Half of Papua New Guinea. Well, I think this is Papua New Guinea. This is New Guinea. Yeah, okay. This is Papua New Guinea. Let's see. I have, you know, the French colony of, well, Germany has the French colony of Indochina. Some serious shit happens over there too, but we'll save that. We don't want to spoil anything, now do we? Brazil can go any way. They could go nationalist, they could go syndicalist, they could go conservative. I've never really seen them stay conservative, but it happens. La Plata, they're trying to break the Brazilian hegemony over South America. Mexico does its own thing. They sometimes attack the United States. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes horrible. Canada's Canada. They do their own thing. Canada, as you can see, head of state, His Royal Majesty George V and William Lyon Mackenzie King. So the royal family fled from Britain and basically held up with the other royalists and conservatives and made Canada their little piece of conservative authoritarianism in the world. And that's pretty much what's happened to the Entente. They've all delved into ultra-nationalism. Well, not ultra-nationalism. They've all delved either into royalism. Well, I guess the correct term is monarchism. Or conservatism. I don't even know the correct words or terminologies. So, they're either ultra-nationalists or the royalists, and they're trying to get their territory back. In France, in National France's case, they can actually become the Kingdom of France or the Empire of France, and elect either a Bourbon King, or a Napoleon, another Napoleon, Louis Napoleon the Fourth, I think. And as you can see, this is the Austria-Hungarian Empire. Puppets of Austria. They're federated right now. But they do have an event chain, really. They could go either way. They could either lose and stay decentralized, or they could centralize and then federalize, or they could just completely centralize again. The Ukraine, because of the failed civil war in Russia, that happened because of German intervention, by the way. They lost most of their Russias, I guess that's what you'd call it. As you can see, Belarus or White Ruthenia. This is our protectorate. Well, yeah, protectorate. Lithuania is also a protectorate. United Baltic Duchy. It's Baltics. Latvia, Estonia. We have Ukraine, a very strong partner. Don Kuban, which would be the Cossacks. Cossacks broke off during the Civil War, formed their own piece of autonomous territory. Alashorda, which makes up of Cossacks, or Kazakhs. I think they're Kazakhs, which are the Central Asian part. This is also further down in Central Asia. This is Turkestan, and they're a radical Islamic faction that could actually get pretty strong. I've seen it happen a couple times. And in Delhi, India is separated in 3 regional powers. The Princely Federation, which is a federation of princes. If you wouldn't have guessed that, you probably would have guessed that. Federation of princes. I mean, their name is Princely Federation. I doubt they're actual real federation of princes. They're most likely a princedom of federated powers. The Bharatiya Commune, which is a commune of Indian workers. The worker state in India. They're radical socialists at the time, but they can go authoritarian socialism. Delhi, they're regional princes in the north, and they have British influence. And when I say Britain, it's usually going to be, I'm talking about the Union of Britain, but also British influence. You have to also talk about Canada. So I guess I'll distinguish them with the Royalists and the British. Well, they're both the same thing. I guess they'll be the British, Communist British, the Royalist British. There you go. Maybe I should just call them by their regular names. I don't care. Nepal is Nepal. Now here's an interesting one. China. As you can see, we have our own piece of China. This doesn't actually belong to us. However, it is a conglomerate of Asian interests and companies that are German. As you can see, Alexander von Falkenhausen. He's the head of government here in the should I try? Allgemeine Ostasiatische Gesellschaft. That was horrible. Damn, such an idiot. And then the legation cities, which is a conglomerate of cities on the Asian coast, well, Chinese coast, that consists of the most wealthiest ports. They are essentially all the ports in China, except for Guangzhou, Naoming, and a couple northern ones, which is Nantong. Alright, and the Qing Empire, that's Puyi. He has the Qing Empire. Yeah, the Qing Empire. And then there's Shanxing Tiangou, which is a, in spirit, they are the Taipei, not Taipei, was it Taipei? No, it's Taipei. Taiwan? Something rebellion that happened here. Basically, they're a mixture of Confucianism, Christianity, Islamic, and a whole bunch of things. They're a religious faction. Ultra-nationalist. Let's see. I guess there's really nothing else to talk about. We pretty much covered everything. Yeah. Okay, so we should probably start the game. Alright. Well, I guess so. Actually, we'll start the game next time. Alright, see you then.